We are live now,
मुझे
Raja.
ठीक लग रहा है, आप लोगों को ठीक लग रहा है?
Okay, myself Raja Loha. So, on the behalf of this Decoding Realpolitik, now we are for our second series of lectures, so second lecture series, where we have two
मैं
special.
मुझे सुनाई दे रहा है?
Yes, you are.
हेलो,
Okay,
Continue,
Kalyan,
Raja.
please
Raja,
mute
continue.
your mic. So, in this behalf, I welcome to a special guest who will give a special lecture on this series, especially Anand, who is a scholar from the University of North Bengal, and he has a specialization, or we can say his research area of interest is geopolitics, South Asian politics, and the strategic culture, and also the Neha Kumari Sharma, or we can say Neha Kumar Sharma. He is a aspiring scholar and has qualified. Sorry, she has qualified UGC NET and WBSET. Her area of research is South Asia and India's foreign policy. Uh, Other than this, we have our other friends, Apurva Sen, Kalyan Roy, and myself. So with this, we will now start our lecture series. For this, I'll just forward this to the Apurva, who will just give a brief introduction regarding today's topic.
Okay, thank you, Raja. So thank you. So today we are going to talk on the topic that is the security dilemma, future trajectory of India and Pakistan conflict. Actually, where in this topic, actually we are going to cover some of the very important points we'll try to analyze and explore the nature of warfare and conflict, which is right now in India and Pakistan, and the U.S. role as a how U.S. intervene in the recent conflict and trying to de-escalate these situations and forward to a peace, a path of peace. And also we are focusing on the nuclear on the issues of like nuclear bluff, जिसमें कि लाइक वो बात पे लाइक पाकिस्तान जो बोलते हैं ना वी आर ए न्यूक्लियर नेशन एंड व्हेन टू कंट्रीज आर न्यूक्लियर वेपन देयर इज ऑलवेज पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ MAD, mutually assured distractions. And we also the main focus point will be the Operation Sindhu. And so therefore I would like to start with the main questions or the things that what India took operation in just 7 or 8 May midnight, the called Operation Sindhu. So I just want to ask you that कैसे देखते हो इस ऑपरेशन सिंधु या फिर इस ऑपरेशन को आई मीन हाउ डू यू एसेस इंडिया's approach to deal with terrorist attacks or to address the terrorism, because earlier India's approach, you can say, diplomatic and economic sanctions, other things. But from 2016, then 2019, and 2025, we see some kind of changing approach. What I think once our national security advisor Ajit Doval said that we have to develop a uh, ऑफेंसिव डिफेंस कैपेबिलिटी, राइट, कि हमें डिफेंसिव तो होना है, लेकिन जब हमारे ऊपर कोई टेररिज्म अटैक आता है, मतलब प्रॉक्सी वॉर होता है, तो हमें ऑफेंसिव डिफेंस करना चाहिए. तो हाउ डू यू एसेस दिस अप्रोच, और व्हाट यू थिंक कि ये चीज क्या हमें इफेक्टिव होगा फ्यूचर में टू डील विद टेररिज्म? So here I would like to come Raja, Amon, Neha. What is your insights or assessments on this kind of approach what India is now taking? Okay, over to Raja, Amon, or Neha. Who will wants to go first? Can go. And Raja. Amon. What is your assessment about this hard approach to deal with terrorism? What
Okay.
this government or India right now taking?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Apurvada, Raja Lohada, and Kalyan Bhai, and I guess Neha Baini for welcoming to your live streaming. And you know, I was like thinking one thing like uh, Operation Sindoor happens to be very symbolic. Number one, it happens to be very symbolic, and also now India is kind of letting go this idealist outlook toward international politics and moving toward more realist take on the Indian foreign policy, right? Like in during Indira Gandhi's reign, uh, it is there in Kanti Bajpai book Hyperrealism. So we can see the hint of hyperrealism in this Operation Sindoor as well. And see, this is how India is project itself as a new India because it India. And like time and again, our Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Joy Shankar, they are reiterating the same thing. This is new India, and now this new India will think differently, do differently, and it has its own principles, norms. Like India will have. Can I, Raja Loharda, can you talk on it? I am having few disturbances out here. Let me sort it out first. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, you are now audible.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'm having slight
Okay.
glitch in my
If
laptop, so
we
let
look
me
at the
sort it out first.
okay. You take time. Okay, if we look at the current scenario where we have witnessed a number of the changes that we have seen here, I have seen that from my perspective, now India has witnessing a shift, or we can say India has adopted a shift in its foreign policy, through where India has chosen a strategic restraint towards a delicate balance between its de-escalation and deterrence and the complexities arising out of the this kind of a conflict. So we'll look into all that in the further discussion. So I'll just look. I will just forward to Neha to give his views regarding this.
Okay, so I'm completely agree with what Amanda has said that India this time India project itself more realistic. Like अभी का टाइम में इंडिया का फॉरेन पॉलिसी दिस मोदी गवर्नमेंट हम लोग देखते हैं कि वो बहुत रियलिस्टिक अप्रोच अपनाता है अपने फॉरेन पॉलिसी को लेके जो कि पहले के गवर्नमेंट के तुलना में अभी जो है वो काफी डिफरेंट है और ऑपरेशन सिंदूर भी देखेंगे तो अगर इसको हम लोग कंपेयर करें पहले के ऑपरेशन से तो ये भी मतलब एक न्यू इंडिया का जो अप्रोच है उसका जो एक गोल है अपने उसका एबिलिटी और कैपेसिटी को दिखाने का वर्ल्ड में वो ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के तहत हमें अच्छे से दिखा है जिस तरीके से हमारे जितने भी मिनिस्टर्स और हमारे गवर्नमेंट ने इसको हैंडल किया है और एक एक मिलिट्री वे में देखे तो ये एक तरफा दिखा है इंडिया के तरफ तो मुझे लगता है कि ये इंडिया ने एक बेस्ट अप्रोच यूज किया है और ये अच्छा एक अप्रोच था फॉर ऑपरेशन सिंधु
So Kalyan, what is your take?
May I come in, Dada? Okay. हम्म, आमंद नेहा और राजा तीनों ने वो rightly pointed out that India is moving towards a more realistic approach in its overall foreign policy and specifically to deal with Pakistan. सो ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में हमने जो एक यूनिक फीचर्स देखा ये है कि पिछले दो जो हमारे सब कन्वेंशनल मतलब क्या बोलते हैं वो बालाकोट एयर स्ट्राइक और सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक था, उस दोनों से ये एयर स्ट्राइक ज्यादा हाउ वो एक इंटेंसिटी के तरफ से अगर देखें हम लोग तो ये मोड इंटेंस था पिछले दो एयर स्ट्राइक से। And it could lead to a new chapter that how do we deal with Pakistani proxies.
Okay, it seems Kalyan having a network issue, so I think we better start the program more nicely. So, Purva, please forward this.
Okay. What I think about this new approach or kind of shifting the approach, एक्चुअली मुझे ये लगता है जो एमन ने बोला है लाइक इट इज मोर सिंबलिक। आई थिंक अलोंग विद सिंबल ये एक काइंड ऑफ एग्जांपल सेट किया है, मतलब एग्जांपल सेट किया जा रहा है। फॉर एग्जांपल कि इफ यू कम, अगर तुम ऐसे आओगे तो वी विल रिटेलिएट एंड रिटेलिएट वेरी हार्ड एंड डीप इनटू योर टेरिटरी, और तुम जहां पे भी हो वहां पे जाके हम करेंगे। क्योंकि इसमें एक कॉन्सेप्ट आता है कि डिटरेंस रिस्टैब्लिश्ड, कहीं ना कहीं हमने एक जो, क्योंकि कोई बोल सकता है कि जो फिदाइन हमलावर होते हैं, जो 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 कि फॉर एग्जांपल जो टेररिस्ट होते हैं, उनके लिए डिटरेंस कुछ काम नहीं करता है। हाँ ये है, लेकिन व्हेन वी नो दैट दीज टेररिस्ट आर नर्चर्ड बाय पाकिस्तानी अथॉरिटीज, तो उस टाइम में जब हम उनको अटैक करेंगे, मतलब उनको ऑपरेशन करेंगे किसी भी टाइप का, तो आई थिंक ये एक डिटरेंस की तरह काम करेगा, नॉट फॉर द टेररिस्ट बट फॉर द गवर्नमेंट, दैट दिस गवर्नमेंट विल नॉट अलाउ इन द फ्यूचर कि आई डोंट नो आगे जाके हो भी सकता है, बट हाँ इतना तो मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि एक काइंड ऑफ उन गवर्नमेंट को ये रहेगा कि कुछ भी मत करो, नहीं तो फिर वो जो है ना वो हमारे अंदर आके हमला करेंगे एंड दे विल टैग इट वी आर अगेंस्ट टेररिस्ट, we launch this attack against the terrorist, not the government of Pakistan or the government or the military। तो इसमें मुझे यही लगता है कि ये एक टाइप का डिटरेंस रिस्टैब्लिश्ड हो गया है, या फिर एक सेटअप, एक एग्जांपल सेट किया गया है। अगर हमें हमला करोगे तो हम नहीं छोड़ेंगे, हम जवाब देंगे। बट यस, अगर तुम ये बोलना चाहोगे कि क्या ये इफेक्टिव होगा, ये इससे टेररिज्म खत्म होगा, आई डोंट नो, इट विल लेट्स सी, और इट विल टेल द फ्यूचर क्या होगा, फ्यूचर में ही पता चलेगा। तो अब हम नेक्स्ट सेटअप चीजों में जाते हैं कि उसमें मैं एमन से मैं एक इंसाइट एक था कि how the over the years the warfare or the nature of warfare and conflict have been changed। For example, in context of this India Pakistan war नहीं बोल सकते, लिमिटेड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जो पिछले 4-5 दिन में हुआ है। तो थोड़ा विस्तार से रोशनी डालोगे अमन कि किस तरह से ये जो वॉरफेयर है वो किस तरह से समय के साथ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट का नेचर जो है वो चेंज होते आया है, taking the case study of Ukraine, Russia, or Hamas, Israel, or now India, Pakistan. तो इसमें थोड़ा प्रकाश डालने से अच्छा होगा. चलो अमन, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. देखिए, like ये war and conflict, that it doesn't come under my uh, specialization, but still, uh, this heinous act that took place on 22nd Pahalgam by terrorists, that happens to, like, they infiltrated from a Pakistan territory, and the narrative that we accept is the Pakistani, they nurture the terrorists, and uh, that's how they came into India. But see, there are always objectives behind any act that takes place, right? So uh, that attack happened on 22nd, that had some objectives. Like, they do not do it like out of nowhere or for nothing. There are objectives that they want to achieve. And my subjective argument, this is not a general, but my subjective view is, like, there are two objectives that I'm seeing it right now. And before going into the objectives, let me clarify or give you a brief context of what was happening in India, or what was happening in Kashmir. So number one was, interesting thing is, uh, as compared to 2024, 22, 23, tourism was booming in Kashmir, right? And obviously, I think BJP government was there, and tourism was booming in Kashmir. And I don't know the exact stats, but the numbers were in crores. Like, as compared to last year, tourism was booming in Kashmir. And in India, what were we seeing? Like, there is a growing religious schism in uh, India between two religions, Hindu and Muslims. And see, let us connect dot and take it to Pahalgam, and how this thing relates to Pahalgam. One thing is, uh, terrorism, it basically thrives on fear, right? It basically generally thrives on fear. They do not favor peace. Terrorism, they are not nourished or nurtured by peace. They thrive on fear. So one thing is, Kashmir was having economic or tourism boom, and there was a kind of peace there. Obviously, there is peace, so tourists there go to Kashmir for holidays or vacations, etc. And number two is the religious season, and see how these act took place. And as compared to the previous infiltration or attacks by terrorists, that attack by terrorists, it is very different, and it has clearly religious tone to it, as we clearly know how the act took place. Uh, to again reiterate what happened there, it was terrorists. There were Hindu and Muslims tourists there in Pahalgam, and how incident took place was, terrorists, they separated Hindus and Muslims separately, and again from Hindu community in Hindus, they spared child, woman, and killed the men. And there was one statement from a wife of one victim, that she asked to kill her as well. And the terrorist replied, like, go tell to your Modi. So it clearly has a religious tone to it. And I don't think this terrorist attack, it really, they are just targeting this international, they are just forwarding or pushing this international hostility between India and Pakistan. They are also trying to like this balance this political space within India, that is clearly deteriorating day by day, as we are witnessing through various events, various news all over the country, between the growing schism between two religions. So I don't think, like, there is something, or there is this religious tone to it, that it is not just between two countries they are forwarding this, pushing forward this hostility between two countries. It has some religious tone to it, and they are clearly they want to disrupt the political space inside India. And it is not just between India and Pakistan. For example India and Bangladesh. It is happening the same, like growing religious schism, the antagonism, how narratives are being forwarded to disrupt this peace between two religious communities. Right. So there are objectives. These are not just. I don't think it is just between the terrorists. They are aiming to like bring in the confrontation between Indian government or Indian or Pakistan government. They want to infiltrate into the heart of Indian politics. And right now, Indian political space is growing or deteriorating day by day with these religious seasons.
Okay, okay, but what I want to would like to ask you that when we talk about the nature of warfare or the nature of conflict, you see last 3 or 4 days. If you comfortable to answer this, because you already mentioned that I'm not a defense personnel, I can't take these questions. Okay, like 3 or 4 days में जो हमने देखा है, like war जो हो रहा है पूरी तरीके से कहीं ना कहीं ड्रोन से हो रहा है या फिर मिसाइल से हो रहा है. सो वी कांट सी एनी आर्मी मूवमेंट. नेवी भी उतना ज्यादा आई मीन इफेक्टिव या फिर ऑपरेशनलाइज नहीं हुआ था. जितना भी हुआ वो हुआ ड्रोन के ऊपर, और ड्रोन में ज्यादातर टेक्निक यूज होता है. जैसे व्हाट आई हर्ड या फिर केम टू नो अबाउट द रिपोर्ट्स कि कुछ ड्रोन तो ऐसा भी आया था दे हैव नो आर्म्स, उनके ऊपर कोई आर्म्स नहीं थे, और उनको जो टेक्निकल सेंटर होता है वहां से हैंडल किया जाता है टू जस्ट टू क्या बोलते हैं उसको, काइंड ऑफ ओवरलोड आवर डिफेंस सिस्टम, जो एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम है, ताकि वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा ड्रोन भेजे, देन उसके बाद फाइटर या फिर कुछ भी भेजे, सो दैट हमारी जितने भी एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम है वो उसमें ओवरलोड हो जाए, बहुत ज्यादा बिजी हो जाए, देन उसके बाद वो असॉल्ट करे. तो इसको कैसे देख रहे हो? क्योंकि हम ये देखें कि अभी लास्ट टाइम जब यूक्रेन और रशिया के बीच में हुआ था, उसमें भी हमने देखा एक छोटा सा ड्रोन ने, मतलब आज के डेट में ऐसा हुआ है, एक छोटा सा 3-4 करोड़ या फिर 50-60 लाख का ड्रोन आके it can hurt or it can damage your billions dollars of equipments or ammunitions, right? तो इसको कैसे देखते हो? These questions or this I just want to know your view and Raza and Neha on that,
No,
very
see,
brief.
this is I think this is the nature of modern conflict as well, right? Like seeing Israel and Hamas, what they did at first was they did all the air strikes. They didn't send any of their military personnel in Gaza, or either Gaza send their say personnel in Israel only for specific operations, like the operation where they have to minimize civilian casualty, or say for during the close range combat. There they use military personnel, as evident from Israel Gaza war, or in Israel or in Ukraine Russia war. See, the more the casualty, the more the chance of escalation is there, right? There will, if India send if we send our military personnel, there will obviously there will be casualty, and more the casualty, more there will be the chance of escalating the war. And also the drone, now see, now our technology are nowadays technology are more precise. Like they don't take much hour to do it. Like if you send military personnel to clear all the terrorist camps there in Pakistan, it might take over 3 or 4 days to complete the operations. And see the drone what they do at midnight, send them in inside 1 hour, the job is done, and no one is left behind, and Pakistan will not get any personnel to interrogate as well. This is the nature of modern conflict. And what Shidi Muni, that's one interesting line from Shidi Muni. Like Himalayan it's no more a barrier between India and China, right? Himalayan is no more a barrier between India and China, because due to like right now, a land cannot protect you from another country. There are interballistic missile. They can jump over
And even
Himalaya. And,
from
yeah.
even from satellite, they can also attack, right?
Yes.
The
Now
Operation Shakti,
nowadays,
which is
see, now the modern military weapons have evolved evolved into so much, like we have so much sophisticated weapons, like we don't need military personnel to run with guns and get into Pakistan. Now those days are gone where people chant screaming and running toward enemy. Now it is all silent. See, for example, how
okay.
USA eliminated Osama bin Laden. They had to full silent. It is claimed that those helicopters had silencer. Like they flew over Faridabad and nobody knew the chopper was coming there unless one had that technical failure. Now, see, this is the
So
nature of
बहुत
modern
अच्छा बोला. या बहुत एक बहुत ही ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट जो मुझे लगा नोट किया दैट दिस मॉडर्न वॉरफेयर समहाउ रिड्यूस द ह्यूमन कैजुअलिटी, राइट?
Yeah.
और जब ह्यूमन कैजुअलिटी कम होगा तो एस्केलेट होने का चांसेस कम होता है, बिकॉज चीज़ें जाएंगे तो वो फिर बाद में खरीद सकते हैं, बट
नहीं
यू
नहीं
कैंट प्रोड्यूस
basically it's
ह्यूमन,
not
राइट?
it,
जान तो
no,
लेके
no,
आ
no.
सकता है.
No, it doesn't like basically it doesn't reduce human casualty, but it reduces the number of personnel required to undertake those missions. Casualty are more. See, casualty are more in modern warfare, because like if you drop a drone and it wipes out the entire population under its radar, right? But with gun, there is chance of surviving. But with drones, bombs, there is no chance. But I mean to say is like the modern warfare do not need much military personnel like we used to do 20, 30 years back.
Okay, okay.
And a
Raja?
country can sustain modern warfare. One thing. One a country can sustain modern warfare, because now number of army doesn't matter much, right? Do you think number of army matter much in modern warfare? It doesn't matter. It matter is how much equipment you have, because one man can control thousands and thousands of drones. Like one, I think one man is not allocated. One man is not allocated one drone. One man undertakes the responsibility of thousands and thousands of drones. If you have thousands and thousands of drones at your disposal, you just need one man to carry on the strike. So this is the nature of modern warfare.
Raja?
Like it is evolving. Like you don't need much personnel. You don't need much. And I think personnel number of army, like it looks good on paper. Like number of army, India has this number of army, India has this number of army. See, India
Uh,
attacked
but
in
uh,
eight
but
different
but
locations.
what I come across some of the military personnel, they still believe that infantry, that is the pedal sainik, this is very important. Manpower is very important because after you wipe out the whole Pakistan or any land, but when it comes to capturing the land, you need manpower or the personnel
Unless
who
it is,
physically go into the space and capture
hmm,
this land and hold position. So this
if
is
you,
therefore I don't think tomorrow or in future that land power or the like kind of military personnel or army man, their important is always there to
well,
capture or to hold the land.
if you succeed in that, this is basically after if you basically succeed in doing all the attacks or wiping out, doing carrying out with your mission successfully. Yeah, for that they require. But see, after they have no one to fight, then you don't need lakhs and lakhs of army to go and capture out there. But for special
let's
mission,
what is
special operation, you need an army like Pulwama Uri attack, retaliation of Uri, and Pulwama. For such purposes, you need the special forces, and who are better than US and Russians at these special missions? Can we hear
okay?
from other how they think,
Think
what
about
they
that,
think?
Raja and Kalyan. I think they since they having some network issues. Okay, Neha,
Yes, Tara.
would you like to go? Have you some? Do you have some ideas or insights to share with us about this modern
Uh,
warfare?
अब
What do
मॉडर्न
you
वॉरफेयर
think?
अगेन
क्या
ये मेरा भी इसमें कुछ वैसा स्पेशलाइजेशन नहीं है, बट मैं जहाँ तक समझ पा रही हूँ, जैसे अमोदा ने बोला कि मतलब अभी मॉडर्न टाइम में हमें आर्म फोर्स का जरूरत नहीं है, मतलब पर्सनल मिलिट्री जो होता है, पर्सनल जरूरत, मतलब कि उन लोग रिड्यूस उनका लाइक, मतलब मोर टेक्नोलॉजी को हम लोग ज्यादा ये कर रहे हैं, और आर्म को ही मतलब आर्मी पर्सन पे मतलब ये नहीं हो रहा है। पर मुझे लगता है कि आर्म आर्म मतलब आर्मी भी इम्पोर्टेंट है, आर्मी पर मिलिट्री जो होता है वो इम्पोर्टेंट है हमारे लिए। टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ साथ हमें वो आर्म पे भी आई थिंक करना चाहिए। ऐसा नहीं कि वो अभी के टाइम में मॉडर्न, क्योंकि वो डिपेंड करता है कि हम लोग किस तरीके से ऑपरेशन, लाइक उरी सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक, उसमें हम लोग ने एयरफोर्स से ज्यादा हमारा आर्मी पर्सन जो था वो उस सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक को सक्सेस करने में उनका ज्यादा हाथ था। मतलब मेरा इस पे उतना स्पेशलाइजेशन है नहीं, मुझे
Yeah,
उतना पता
actually,
नहीं है।
I was saying the same thing. Like for special operations where you need to reduce casualty, or for that you need army personnel. But see, the nature of modern warfare is like, see, you like I have mentioned, one man can control 1,500, thousand and thousands of drone at once, because you have like at the press of one button. Now we have developed such weapon like we can wipe out entire human civilization at once,
राइट।
right? So army personnel are important, but the nature, like I said at the start of this conversation, like more the casualty, the more the chance of escalations will be there.
हम्म।
Like if you send, like if India has probably sent 200 to 300 army personnel to get inside Pakistan, and Pakistan would do the same. And if somehow India suffered 150 or 2000 casualty, and don't
हम्म।
you think that chances of escalations are more?
यस।
Because the modern equipment, weapons, it also brings kind of deterrence as well. See,
हम्म।
for example, Pakistan could not counter Indian drones,
हम्म।
and due to their lack of defensive capability, the superiority of Indian weapons also had brought some deterrence in this. Like
हम्म।
Pakistan could not forward this war anymore. Yes, all the officials were giving a statement like Pakistan will retaliate, and there was this popular narrative like Pakistan was like exhausting India's defense capability, and after it is exhausted, then Pakistan will attack India.
हम्म।
They were in fear. The Pakistan, they were in fear. Like there was one ironic statement in Twitter. One man was saying like, uh, Pakistan general army general. He came up with an argument like, Pakistan took down two Rafale fighters fighter jet of India, and there was one comment like, you could not defend yourself against Indian drones, and you are saying like you have successfully took down two Rafale jet fighters.
Mm.
Right. So modern warfare, like I'm answering you, modern the army is important. Like Apurva Das said, like it is. For example, if possibly happens, if for the capture, army is important. But modern conflict do not require much army at first. See in Russia, Ukraine, it happens in Israel. It all starts with airstrike, drone, everything, and after the arsenal is depleting day by day, then they start sending army personnel there.
Right.
कि हम थोड़ा अभी एक दूसरा इशू में रोशनी डालेंगे, वो है कि ये ऑपरेशन सिंधु हो गया, देन द एस्केलेशंस गोइंग ऑन फॉर 3 और 4 डेज, राइट। उसके बाद फिर हमारे पास कल एक ट्वीट आता है प्रेसिडेंट डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प की तरफ से कि दोनों कंट्री ने बोथ आर एग्री टू सीज फायर एंड सेंस प्रिवेल इन साउथ एशिया और टू द बोथ कंट्री, गॉड ब्लेस यू, ऐसा कुछ बोला। तो मैं यहाँ पे ये बोलना चाहूँगा कि द यूएस रोल और यूएस हेजिमनी और यूएस का जो लीडरशिप रोल है, वो आज के डेट में भी क्या इफेक्टिव है टू स्टॉप, टू इंटरवीन एनी वॉर। और अगर हम ये भी देखें कि हिस्टोरिकली यूएस has been obsessed to this South Asia region और South Asia, स्पेशली इंडिया पाकिस्तान में जो होता है उसमें आता है। जैसे कि हम 1999 की जो हमारा ऑपरेशन विजय हुआ था कारगिल वॉर के टाइम में भी ऐसा ही हुआ था, लाइक फिर उस टाइम की प्रेसिडेंट ने प्रेशर डाला, फिर वॉर रुक गया। तो यूएस का ये जो हिस्टोरिकली हम यूएस का जो देखते आ रहे एक काइंड ऑफ लीडरशिप रोल, ग्लोबल पावर, वो आफ्टर 1991 डिसइंटीग्रेशन के बाद यूएसएसआर का उनका एक सुपर पावर हुआ था। लेकिन हम बीच में सुने कि यूएस का कहीं ना कहीं डिक्लाइन हो रहा है, चाइना का राइज हो रहा है एंड वर्ल्ड विल बी मल्टीपोलर। बट आज के डेट में हम देखें यूएस ने ना रशिया यूक्रेन का वॉर नहीं रोक पाया, मतलब अभी तक तो स्टिल चल रहा है। लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं ये जो लिमिटेड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट शुरू हुआ था इसको डीएस्केलेट करने का कोशिश कर रहा है, या फिर दोनों पार्टी को एग्री कराया है टू फॉरवर्ड इनटू द पीस पाथ, ठीक है। तो इसमें मुझे नेहा, अगर तुम कुछ अंडरस्टैंडिंग या फिर व्हाट इज योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग अबाउट यूएस इंटरवेंशन और यूएस पोजीशंस और यूएस रोल टू डीएस्केलेट बिटवीन इंडिया एंड पाकिस्तान कॉन्फ्लिक्ट।
ओके, थैंक यू दादा फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन। मतलब मैं इसको हिस्टोरिकली देखूँ, यूएसए का इंटरवेंशन इंडिया और पाकिस्तान वॉर के बीच में, यूएसए तो इसको अगर मैं फ्रॉम द इंडिपेंडेंस, जब से इंडिया आज़ाद हुआ है 1947, और उसके बाद से अगर ट्रूमैन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के टाइम से देखें तो यूएसए इंटरेस्टेड रहा है इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के बीच में इंटरवेन करने का और मीडिएट करने का। तो अगर हम लोग इसको ऐसा, मैं इसको दो तरीके से देखती हूँ। एक कोल्ड वॉर का पहले का टाइम में और एक कोल्ड वॉर के बाद के टाइम में, इन दोनों टाइम पीरियड में यूएस का फॉरेन पॉलिसी काफी हद तक चेंज हुआ है। हम लोग देखेंगे कैसे वो पाकिस्तान का तरफ झुका हुआ था यूएसए का फॉरेन पॉलिसी, लेकिन बाद में आफ्टर पोस्ट कोल्ड वॉर वो कहीं ना कहीं इंडिया के तरफ में उसका झुकाव ज्यादा बढ़ा है। तो अगर ट्रूमैन के टाइम में देखें तो उस टाइम में भी पाकिस्तान का उस टाइम में पाकिस्तान और यूएसए का रिलेशन काफी अच्छा था, और ऑब्वियसली फॉर सम स्ट्रेटेजिक रीजन यूएसए का अच्छा रिलेशन रहा पाकिस्तान के साथ, और इंडिया को उन लोग प्रेशराइज किया था कि मतलब पाकिस्तान एक सपोर्ट मांगा था कि हमें कश्मीर मुद्दे पे सपोर्ट चाहिए, और उसमें वो थर्ड पार्टी इंटरवेंशन आया था यूएसए, और उसने इंडिया को प्रेशराइज किया था कि आप कश्मीर मुद्दे को जो है हम इंटरवेन करके मीडिएट करके इसको सॉल्व करने का कोशिश करेंगे। लेकिन नेहरू गवर्नमेंट जो था उन्होंने देखा कि जो पाकिस्तान है वो बायस्ड हो रहा है, और वो जो है रिजेक्ट किया था कि एक्सटर्नल मीडिएटर को उस टाइम में। उसके बाद ये जो यूएसए बेस्ड मीडिएशन अप्रोच जो है वो कंटिन्यू रहा है बहुत सारे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के टाइम, जैसे एजेनआर के टाइम, कैनेडी के टाइम में। उसके बाद जॉनसन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के टाइम में जब 1965 का इंडो पाकिस्तान वॉर जब होता है, जिसको हम लोग सेकेंड इंडो पाकिस्तान वॉर भी बोलते हैं, इस वक्त भी जो उन्होंने एफर्ट डाला था इस बीच इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के बीच में इंटरवेन करने का, और उन्होंने कहीं ना कहीं एग्री किया था एक सीज फायर ये करने का, लेकिन वो उस हद तक काम नहीं आया, वो रिजॉल्व नहीं हुआ ये चीज। और बाद में इस टाइम में फिर सोवियत यूनियन, क्योंकि इस जो जॉनसन का टाइम पीरियड था उस टाइम में यूएसए जो है वियतनाम वॉर में भी इन मतलब उन्होंने वो वियतनाम वॉर में भी इन्वॉल्व था। तो कहीं ना कहीं इंडिया में जो है इंडिया जो है सोवियत यूनियन का तरफ ये हुआ, और सोवियत यूनियन के वजह से यहाँ पे ताशकेंट एग्रीमेंट भी हुआ था। और फिर निक्सन और रेगन का एरा आता है, उस समय में भी जो है यूएस जो है अपना प्राइवेट उसका जो यूएसए का प्रायोरिटी जो है वो शिफ्ट हो जाता है कश्मीर के मुद्दे से, और वो जो है बेसिकली कंटेन करने का कोशिश करता है सोवियत का इन्फ्लुएंस। अगर ये रहा कोल्ड वॉर से पहले का बात, अगर कोल्ड वॉर के बाद देखेंगे तो उनका फॉरेन पॉलिसी शिफ्ट हुआ है इंडिया का तरफ ज्यादा, क्योंकि इस टाइम बहुत सारा घटना हुआ है इंडिया में, जैसे कि कारगिल वॉर, फिर
I think she lost her connection.
Dada, am I audible?
Audible right now. Okay.
ओके, तो पोस्ट कोल्ड वॉर के बाद देखेंगे तो क्लिंटन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन और यूएसए का फॉरेन पॉलिसी शिफ्ट हुआ है इंडिया के तरफ, क्योंकि बहुत सारा उस टाइम पीरियड में बहुत सारे इम्प्रूवमेंट देखने को मिले, जैसे कि लिबरलाइजेशन इकोनॉमिक को लेके हुआ है। इंडिया जो एक एलपीजी वाला मॉडल अपनाता है। उसके बाद उस वक्त तक दोनों इंडिया और पाकिस्तान न्यूक्लियर कंट्री बन चुका था, दोनों के पास न्यूक्लियर कैपेबिलिटी आ गया था। इसके अलावा करगिल वॉर, तो ये सब चीज जो है और फिर चाइना का राइज, ये सब जो है यूएसए का फॉरेन पॉलिसी को शिफ्ट किया फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान टू इंडिया। और इस समय और एक इंसिडेंट हुआ 9/11 इंसिडेंट, जो कि इंडिया जो है फ्रेम कर पाया कश्मीर का कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को एज अ पार्ट ऑफ ग्लोबल वॉर ऑन टेररिज्म। उसका बुश एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन हमें पता ही है कि उन्होंने वॉर ऑन टेररिज्म चलाया था। तो अगर ये सब हिस्टोरिकल देखे तो और बुश एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने जो था उन्होंने उनके टाइम पीरियड में एक चीज हुआ था कि उन्होंने बोला था कि वो डिस्कलेट करने का कोशिश किए थे टेंशन को, लेकिन उन्होंने उनके टाइम में बोला था कि ये जो वो जो है मीडिएटर का रोल प्ले नहीं करना चाहते थे इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के बीच में। वो बेसिकली वॉर ऑन टेरर और काउंटर इंसर्जेंसी इसी को लेके वो चल रहे थे। और फिर ओबामा का टाइम पीरियड में ओबामा भी उतना इंटरेस्टेड नहीं था इंटरवेन करना इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के बीच में। लेकिन डोनाल्ड ट्रंप का जब टाइम पीरियड आता है, इनिशियली ईयर में डोनाल्ड ट्रंप भी जो है ऑब्वियसली किया था कश्मीर का इश्यू को, लेकिन 2019 में जो है आई थिंक चाइना का एम्बेसडर कोई था, उन्होंने क्या मुझे उनका नाम याद नहीं आ रहा है, उन्होंने एक वो ट्राइलेटरल कोऑपरेशन का बात किया था कश्मीर इशू को लेके इंडिया, चाइना एंड पाकिस्तान को। और इस बीच में फिर डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने और उसके बाद इसी बीच में पाकिस्तानी प्राइम मिनिस्टर जो है इब्राहिम खान वो डोनाल्ड ट्रंप से मिलते हैं, और डोनाल्ड ट्रंप तब वो अपना एक इच्छा व्यक्त करते हैं कि उन्हें इंटरवेन करना है और मीडिएटर का रोल प्ले करना है इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के मुद्दे पे। लेकिन इंडिया जो है वो, क्योंकि वो बिगनिंग से हम लोग नेहरू के टाइम पीरियड से ही देख रहे हैं कि इंडिया जो है स्टार्टिंग से ही इस चीज को नकार रहा है कि उसे थर्ड पार्टी इंटरवेंशन नहीं चाहिए इन इशू पे, क्योंकि ये उन लोग का एक बायलैटरल रिलेशन के तौर पे इस चीज को देखते हैं। और जब डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने अपना ये इच्छा व्यक्त किया कि वो मीडिएट करना चाहते, यहाँ तक कि उन्होंने बोला भी कि ये मोदी गवर्नमेंट उनको रिक्वेस्ट किया है इंटरवेन करने के लिए, तो इंडिया इस बात से साफ इनकार कर दिया और बोला कि हमारा बायलैटरल इशू है, हम इसे खुद ही सॉल्व करेंगे। लेकिन अभी जो हम लोग रिसेंट ट्वीट देखे हैं कि इंडिया यूएस जो है वो इंटरवेन किया है, ये दोनों इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के इशू पे, और आपका क्वेश्चन था क्या ये इंटरवेंशन करके यूएसए जो है अपना एक हेजेमन क्रिएट करना चाह रहा है, दिखाना, एक डोमिनेंस वहां पे बेसिकली दिखाना चाह रहा है, तो मैं बोलूंगी हाँ, क्योंकि ये यूएस जो है इंटरवेंशन बहुत सी जगह पे क्या है मतलब वो इंटरवेन करना ही करते रहता है अपना बहुत सारे वॉर हुए हैं, जैसे कि इराक में, अफगानिस्तान में, और ऐसे बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल है हमारे पास हिस्ट्री में जहाँ पे यूएस इंटरवेन किया है। कॉन्फ्लिक्ट दो कंट्री के बीच में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो रहा है, उसमें यूएस इंटरवेन किया है। उसका पहला रीजन ये हो सकता है कि यूएस जो है अपना मेंटेन करना चाहता है ग्लोबल डोमिनेंस को, प्रोटेक्ट करना चाहता है अपना नेशनल इंटरेस्ट को, और वो मतलब एक अपना इन्फ्लुएंस क्रिएट करना चाहता है इंटरनेशनल पॉलिटिक्स पे। और हम इसके अलावा है कि क्योंकि जो साउथ एशिया रीजन है वहाँ पे चाइना का डोमिनेंस बहुत ज्यादा है, तो वहाँ पे चाइना का डोमिनेंस न बढ़े, वहाँ पे यूएसए अपना प्रेजेंस को दिखाना चाहता है, तो इसीलिए वो इस तरीके का अगर उसे अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगा तो वो इंटरवेन करेगा। यस दादा।
Okay, okay, thank you. So, Aman, would you like to add something on this U.S. mediation or U.S. intervention war?
Okay, thank you very much. Ajay, thank you, Neha, for your insightful say on US intervention. But see, one question that lingers in my mind when it comes to when see all of the sudden US came up with this statement that the ceasefire took place between India and Pakistan. But one thing that's apparent that happened before US was IMF. Don't you think IMF has an important role to play here? Because see, there was all the news or headlines in Twitter or everywhere that IMS is loaning 1 billion to Pakistan, and India was against this idea. And aftermath of that ceasefire, the USA all of the sudden they came up with this statement that ceasefire is took place between India and Pakistan. So I don't think USA has much to do with ceasefire. Because see, USA maybe somehow, but maybe I think USA is taking credit out of this ceasefire because IMF they were planning, they were in verge of giving loan to Pakistan, and India was against this idea of IMF giving loan to Pakistan. I think this happens to be the major factor that led to ceasefire. And can we answer the questions in the chat as well?
Okay, we will address this at the end because there are some other issues or aspects to address. Right, Raja? You have
I think
something
there
on your
are
mind?
uh, see
And
when
then
war
then we will
Yes,
address the questions. We have
yeah.
just only three questions. We will address these questions at the end after 10 minutes because we will end this our discussions at 10 p.m. and then for the 15 minutes we will take the questions and we
And
will
also we
discuss on
cannot
this.
forget
Okay.
Balochistan
question from the
in Pakistan there because
Yes,
Balochistan,
Balochistan angle.
yeah, Balochistan angle there because
Mm.
Balochistan fighter they came up they came up they came up online they came up with this clear statement like they don't want China and Pakistan in Balochistan. And later now news are there like China is supporting India, Pakistan's territorial sovereignty, right? I don't think who is China is against whom, Balochistan or India.
Okay, I
It
have a
will
small.
be very difficult to assess. It will be very difficult to assess, like, if China are backing Pakistan against India or Balochistan. It was Balochistan who were clearly saying that they don't want China and Pakistan in Balochistan, right? And say USA, their statement were everywhere. Trump was saying different thing, and JD Vance was saying different thing, right? And
Yes,
see,
yes.
that's the intricacies of conflict. Like
Okay,
no no
I
one
full
no
view.
one belongs to one camp. I guess no one belongs to one camp, right? Emmanuel say, for example, France, they are against Israel, I guess, right? They are condemning Israel action against Gaza, but here they are supporting India, and India supports Israel. So, so, see, this is how I think international relation works. So ideally, we cannot look into international relation ideally like, oh, they are our friends. They will do this for us. They will do that for us. It is interest that's basically guides a country. And there was one popular news like India cost of, I think, 26 Rafale jet fighter is around 680 million. I was surfing X, and I found this stat 680 million or billion, and Pakistan foreign reserve is only 8 billion. This is the hilarious comparison they were
We will
making.
talk it. We will talk it later on the aspect of narrative warfare or narrative media narrative, how it's going on that we shoot down three Rafales and MiG-29 Su-30. We will talk in later. Raja wants to add or say something, right?
Okay, I have a small question, like it is a open floor question to all of you. So nowadays we have seen that, yeah, India and Pakistan conflict, we can also solve from the stability instability paradox, but it also has as a question like that, whether this nuclear weapons has also becoming a nuclear bluff or blackmail tool that
It seems Raja
hello,
having some
hello, am I
network issue, right?
audible?
You are now audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, Dara.
Hello. Hmm.
Yes, you are
So a
audible,
small
Raja.
question that I had,
Go on.
that as I have, okay, audible. Okay, I have a small question that I want to say. Just for example, as India and Pakistan conflict, basically, we also see from the stability instability paradox, like how nuclear weapons have impacted a balancing stability in the inter-Pakistan relation. But we have also seen that these nuclear weapons are also becoming a blackmail tool, or we can say a nuclear bluff in this both Indian Pakistan relation. So, what kind of a view that you have regarding this nuclear bluff and the nuclear blackmail that India and Pakistan has witnessed to each other? It's an open question. So, anyone, all of you can give
म-
any small view that
मैं
you have.
दादा आवाज आ रहा है दादा?
Kollan go.
अ, तो मैं ये
Kollan keep
स्टेबिलिटी
going na.
इंस्टेबिलिटी पैराडॉक्स में आवाज आ रहा है दादा? ठीक है। हाँ, तो मैं ये स्टेबिलिटी
Yeah,
इंस्टेबिलिटी
yeah.
पैराडॉक्स जो इस इस इशू पे दो एक पॉइंट ऐड करना चाहूंगा। सो इंडिया का एक अप्रोच रहा है जब ये पाकिस्तानी स्पॉन्सर टेररिज्म के क्वेश्चन आता है कि हम एक पॉलिसी ऑफ रेस्ट्रेंट फॉलो करते हैं कि हम दोनों न्यूक्लियर पावर स्टेट है, तो यहाँ अगर कोई भी मिलिट्री एक्शन स्टार्ट होगा तो इट विल ऑटोमेटिकली एस्केलेट टू द कॉन्वेंशनल लेवल, देन इट विल लीड टू न्यूक्लियर लेवल। तो इस डर की वजह से हम हमारा पॉलिसी ऑफ रेस्ट्रेंट के अप्रोच था ये सदियों से। 2014-16 में हमने कुछ न्यू इनिशिएटिव ट्राई करने की कोशिश की, और इस बार का ऑपरेशन सिंदूर का जो यूनिक फीचर है वो है कि इतने दिनों से जहाँ पॉलिसी ऑफ रेस्ट्रेंट में रहा था, तो एक न्यूक्लियर ब्लफ था, पाकिस्तान का न्यूक्लियर ब्लैकमेल था कि अगर यहाँ कोई भी मिलिट्री रिस्पॉन्स आएगा तो उसके बदले में हम मिलिट्री रिस्पॉन्स करेंगे, देन ये न्यूक्लियर लेवल तक जा सकता है। इस ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में हमने जो देखा कि हम लोग मिलिट्री एक्शन भी कर रहे हैं, पाकिस्तान स्पॉन्सर टेररिज्म के अगेंस्ट हम लोग एक्शन ले रहे हैं, वो न्यूक्लियर थ्रेशोल्ड के अंदर ही। तो हम लोग यहाँ एक न्यू स्पेस बना रहे हैं न्यूक्लियर अम्ब्रेला के अंदर ही, कि जहाँ कॉन्वेंशनली पाकिस्तान को रिस्पॉन्स दे सके। तो ये एक नया इनिशिएटिव, नया स्टार्ट है। ये कितने लॉन्ग टर्म सॉल्यूशन देगा हम लोगों को, वो काउंटर टेररिज्म स्ट्रेटेजी में, ये देखने वाले चीज होगा। एंड मेरे तरफ से सिर्फ यही बोलना था। नाउ इफ Amanda, Radha, and Neha also would have wants to add something.
Aman, hello, Aman.
Thank you.
Uh,
Aman and Neha.
Aman, can you hear me, Aman?
Yes, sir, yes, sir, I'm here.
Please, if you can put if you put okay, switch on your video camera. Okay, would you like to add something on this nuclear bluff or nuclear blackmail, like their information minister and Khwaja Asif, the so-called defense minister? You can see the social media how many fighter jets we have shut down, right? So how do you see their nuclear blackmail or nuclear bluff? What Raja?
See, it is as clear as it gets. Like, what more they have done to give nuclear blackmail? Like, in traditional warfare, they are losing. Like, in terms of weaponry, they are losing. So they know they are losing in all fronts. You know, Pakistan, they clearly know they are losing in all fronts. And see, Pakistan, if somehow Pakistan goes into war with India, it is not India, only India they'll fight. They also fight with Balochistan, and also Afghanistan out there. And Iran, and do you think Iran will help them? I don't think so, because see, in Pakistan happens to be a Sunni state. Sunni Muslims are there, and that happens. Iran are Shia Muslim, and in in Iran Iraq war, the this Shia and Sunni was one of the major factor between Saddam Hussein and Ayatollah Khomeini, right? And like, see, one state that happens to be, we don't know if it is a theocratic state, democratic state, or military state. Like, it suffers between all forms of government time and again. Pakistan, it suffers between these form of government. But inside Muslim community, they have this kind of division between Shia and Sunni. Like, if we look at them with our eyes, like, it will be a clear assumption, like a Muslim state will help Muslim state, like that would have been a clear cut answer to it. Saudi Arabia should have helped Pakistan. At the end, these all are narratives. Religion has nothing to do with it. It all comes down to interest. and UAE refused to host PSL in PSL. अगर भाई ने हेल्प कर, ये तो क्लियर ही था ना, लाइक दे हैपेंस टू बी, they are a part of this fraternity, right? But still there is differences between them. So it clearly indicates that religion is kind of appearance, right? It is there to spread narrative, but underneath there is hard and real politics going on. At the end of the day, it is the interest of states that drives the foreign policy. You cannot ideally construct this form of ideas, right? It is the clearly a interest.
Okay, so Neha, if you want to add something.
Okay, Raja, I think we should stop here because time doesn't permit us, right?
Yeah.
There are so
Yeah,
many issues and aspects we left because of the time, like media narrative, media warfare, and what media narrative actually, or narrative warfare, and mutually assured distractions, and how economic weakness of Pakistan become a deterrence for not to go in a long war, right? These things are we couldn't complete or touch upon. So okay, because of time constraint, we are now try to address some of the questions. The first questions, whoever wants to go, whoever wants to address or wants to give their ideas or insights. So the first question from Rajya Vishak Pradhan here in the screen you see. So who wants to address or comment on this question?
Thank you, Raj. Abhishek, let me try to answer this question. I don't think there is a regional integration of South Asia, right? Integration would be a far dream for India to right now to look into this. Like, see, ideally, mm, all the small states in South Asia, ideally, is so all South India should have understood the might of India, right? And it is clearly it is real. Like India is in all spheres far more superior than all the smaller states, right? But still, that is the problem with the small states is like see realism clearly indicates like there is bandwagoning and alliance. They are looking for their personal growth, they are looking for their personal development, and and if some other country brings in better solution or a better solution in their table, then they are clearly going to accept. That is what happening in India's neighbor, in Bangladesh, in Maldives, in not right now in Sri Lanka and in Nepal. And this was a very critical moment when India went full throttled. So India like went full throttle in retaliating the Seniors Act. And it is also a message to South Asia like now we are not holding back. Like it is not good neighbor policy. Now we cannot always be a good neighbor. If you harm us, then this is new India. And see what happened to Mohammad Yunus when he made this statement in Beijing, right? India blocked all this thing in for block Bangladesh. So now India is now not holding back, and I think India should not care about regional integration as such. Because for the sake of regional integration, Nehru started with good neighbor policy. He had this good neighbor policy and come with Gujarat, and India has been following this good neighbor policy from like last 70 years. India has been following this good neighbor, but what India is getting out of it? Nothing. Do you think India is getting anything out of it? I don't think India is getting anything out of it. That right now the situation is deteriorating day by day, day by day, day by day with the rise of China, presence of China in Myanmar, presence of China in Nepal. to various means. Now it is also hampering India's interest. Now India cannot always stick to its stick to good neighbor policy every time. Now this is in by retaliating this Operation Sindur was also a message to entire South Asia, like this is new India. This India understands politics and will act accordingly to the situation. Now भाईचारा नहीं रहा अब, भाईचारा से नहीं होगा, है ना? Now reason now South Asia, South Asia, I don't think South Asia का इंटीग्रेशन हम करते हुए कितना साल गुजर गए, अभी तक इंटीग्रेट नहीं हुआ है. Whenever India tries to do good, like India is marked or stamped with this big border name hegemon. Like India is doing good things in Nepal, India is doing good things in Bangladesh, in Sri Lanka. India is always the first country to help this country. उन लोग को हजम नहीं होता है. So like yeah, my answer would be
Raja,
clearly like this is the most realistic message like India can give to all the Asia. Like now we are not holding back. Now you harm us, now we will harm you back. You go and cry in UN as much as you can. Yeah, back to you, Apurvada.
okay, Raja, your take. Raja, you think I think your audio is mute, right? We can't hear you. Hello.
Sorry. It was
Huh.
my mic was mute. So I agree with the slightly agree with the point that Aman said that yeah, there's an absence of a regional integration in the South Asia, and Raja was a question that whether how this will impact the regional integration of the South Asia. As we know that the South Asia is in the, we can say, a regional disintegration process, or we can say because of the China and Pakistan conflicts, it is very tough to be, like we can say, unite in a particular groupings. But I will just say that now we have seen a shift in India's foreign policy, that where India not only looking for a regionalism, okay, India is also looking for a sub-regionalism in the South Asian or Indian Ocean region, where they try to, like we can say, try to be cooperate or make foster relations with the neutral countries of the region. Just for example, the recent one, that is the Colombo Security Conclave, through which they try to groupings or cooperate with the countries where the interest can be shared. Okay, the priority and the interest can be, we can say, will be managed. Okay, so I believe that this integration will further that India will just more look into the sub-regionalism to cooperate with the other countries. So that is what I just try to add with the Aman's news.
Okay, what I understood that India minus South Asia integration, right? No, Pakistan minus. Sorry.
Yeah, you can say yeah,
For
Pakistan
example,
minus BIMSTEC, yeah.
BIMSTEC or
Like,
Colombo Security Conclave or some other initiative. Okay, the
yeah.
next question actually, what it actually said that the unity of opposition parties are standing side by the government to how it help or how it help or what message it has to the world, that the unity in the all party, I think generally how this all party standing against this terrorism or this act or this attack, तो इसको कैसे वर्ल्ड में एक मैसेज गया है. What do you think about? Hello, Amon,
Oh yeah,
I think
sorry,
you are
sorry.
mute.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm saying it again. Like one clear message. Like Jaishankar time and again reiterates is this is new India, right? I don't think this can be the only instance like when India is trying to give message to the world. Shankar time and again he always says like this is new India, like you cannot bully us, you cannot force us to do something.
Just a very small intervention.
Uh,
Some audience or some viewers don't misunderstand that we are promoting here Jai Shankar or this present NDA government, because what is right
no,
is right. Leave it there.
no, no, no. See,
This is very
nahin,
small
nahin. Like right now, I'm going to talk on behalf. Like it is not about supporting. Like he is our acting foreign minister, so
our
I have
interest,
to
India's
reiterate his
interest, India's interest.
statement. Like I cannot like reiterate a statement from any congressman because it does. I don't think it has same weightage as like Jaishankar has. Like Congress member, if they came up with a statement, I don't think their statement carry as weight as Jaishankar. And so I have to stick to what Jaishankar says, and in terms of US, I have to stick with their foreign ministers. Like they are in power. बिकता तो उन लोग का ही statement है ना अभी तो. Like it is not
Yes,
about promoting
one statement one statement I remember that uh, Europe should come out from the Europe should come out from the very primitive source or primitive thinking that Europe's problem is world's problem and
ah,
world's problem is
Yeah,
India's
yeah.
is your
problem, right?
program.
But
Kind of just right.
that is about the bold nature of the Ajay Shankar.
Mm. Like BJP, this entire tenure of India government, they are trying to say the same thing. Like this is new India. Like we are not doing like we are moving from our old ways and we are moving into different era. Like for say example, we are moving from idealism to realism or say hyper realism. And there are various instances during the tenure of this government, like they are acting how it should be acted. Like so they are killing a civilians, and for example, we are trying to solve this matter to diplomacy. It doesn't sound good. Right, so they are this government is being real in its sense, and Indian foreign policy is moving toward more having this Indian foreign policy has this more realist tinge to it, right?
So
Okay,
Raja, what message
okay.
would you
I'll
like
just
to add?
add a
क्या
small
मैसेज
point.
गया है?
That,
I'm not
yeah,
promoting
I will just
anyone.
add a small point. I don't have many point. A small point is that yeah, the way all the political parties of India has come together to the join, or we can say they have acted unitedly. Okay, I think this has shown the world that India has like shifted to the fragility where the during the different kind of a conflict, the other political parties are have a different views. Now India we are having a united whenever any kind of a external threat come to us. Okay, any kind of a we can say a intervention that will impact the India's foreign policy and all. When then all the political parties will come together and try to save the Indian foreign policy, and they will stand to any kind of a to we can say to face any kind of a problem. That is what the unity, the diversity, the unity that India had, or India had, and now India have. That India will always act together unitedly to any kind of issue, a global issue.
Okay, very briefly, I just want to add one point that it is not today that India, the all party or the all people of this India united or united and strong. It is always there, either into 71. मतलब किसी भी कंट्री में, मतलब हमारे कंट्री में जब भी कुछ
Yeah,
ऐसा काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम आता है, क्राइसिस आता है, तो ये स्वाभाविक है कि हम लोग एक साथ आए और वी एज ए इंडियन वी आर वेरी हैप्पी दैट हम एटलीस्ट एट दिस क्राइसिस ऑफ टाइम हमने ऐसा कुछ नहीं देखा कि वी आर नॉट यूनाइटेड और वी आर नॉट इन ए सेम पेज, वी आर इन ए सेम पेज आइदर एमआईएम पार्टी और एआईएमआईएम पार्टी, राइट? आई वाज
yeah, yeah,
क्या बोलूं मैं, वो तो मेरा दिल जीत लिया यार, कितना बार दिल
yeah, yeah.
जीतेगा वो आदमी,
Yeah, yeah,
वो
that
वो
political party. They had always a different views.
मैं उसका नाम, मैं उनका महाशय का नाम ना लेके मैं नहीं रह पा रहा हूँ, वैसे असाउद्दीन साहब, उन्होंने
Yeah,
बहुत
yeah,
अच्छा
yeah.
से जवाब दिया है। इवन जो नया उन्होंने ऑपरेशन का नाम रखा ना, कुछ बुनियानूर, उसको भी उन्होंने इंटरप्रेट किया सही से, कि इन लोगों ने तो इंटरप्रिटेशन ही गलत करके अपना ऑपरेशन का नाम रखा है। तो इट इज ऑलवेज देयर, और ये होना स्वाभाविक है। तभी दुनिया में क्या, एनिमी को एक ये जाता है कि दे आर ऑल नाउ यूनाइटेड एंड स्ट्रॉन्ग। सो यही है मेरा बोलना। और लास्ट क्वेश्चन में ये बोला है टर्की का, क्योंकि इसमें मैं बस ये बोल देना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि जितना भी ड्रोन उन लोगों ने हमारे ऊपर छोड़ा है, अटैक दिया है, तो इनमें ज्यादातर टर्की का हेरॉन ड्रोन ना क्या ड्रोन था। तो
हाँ
इसमें हम
हेरन
कैसे
ड्रोन।
देख सकते हैं टर्की के साथ हमारा जो एक रिश्ता है। चाहे तुम लोग देखो कि जब टर्की में भूकंप आया था, राइट, लास्ट ईयर और 2024-23, इंडियन आर्मी ने एक ऑपरेशन चलाया था, उनको हेल्प किया था। एंड टुडे दे सेंडिंग देयर आर्म्स टू हार्ट इंडिया, राइट। सो हाउ वुड वी pursue इन फ्यूचर a very good relation with Turkey when Turkey's stance is not with India? एंड यस, देयर इज ऑलवेज ए पॉसिबिलिटी कि हमने भी लाइक हथियार खरीदते हैं, वो तो एक एक व्यापार तो चलेगा ही हथियार का या फिर आर्म्स एमुनेशन का। बट फिर भी जब तुमको पता है, हमें पता है कि वो कंट्री हमारे ऊपर यूज करने के लिए ड्रोन भेज रहा है, तो फिर फ्यूचर कोर्स ऑफ रिलेशनशिप कैसा होना चाहिए विद टर्की? तो यही क्वेश्चन मुझे लगता है पूछा है महबूब 2024।
No, I think India should like solve solve the situation with Turkey through diplomacy or through dialogue. Right? It is not impossible. India can relate to that. I think religion is the only factor. I think Turkey is supporting Pakistan. Right? And see how Turkey is being reacting in Middle East as well during Israel Hamas war as well.
You said religion.
Yeah, it
So
has
why not,
like religious tone to
Saudi Arabia,
it.
UAE? These are also the same, religions. So why they are with us and Turkey not? Because the same religions they have UAE or Saudi Arabia or even Kuwait, Qatar, Iran.
No, in case of Turkey, we are saying right. Like look at how Turkey has been acting or what Turkey has been doing is they have this religious tone whenever Erdogan, right? Erdogan he speaks. Like in Gaza as well. Gaza between Hamas and Gaza. It was not the genocide he was like against because of genocide he was against it. It was because of this religious fraternity that he was trying to protect and see the agenda is domestic politics as well. He has this religious agenda going on in Turkey, right? And see, there are countries who are motivated by religious means. There are countries who are there are countries like they are motivated through various means. Therefore, it is difficult to assess who is what. Therefore, Hegel once said the owl of Minerva takes flight in a dusk. We know at the inside, like we cannot predict things. We can have the power of prediction, but it is very difficult to predict things. Like we can know things only at the inside and evaluate and try to predict the next event more accurately. That's the purpose. Because it is not the mathematics calculation or we are living in more complex world where emotion changes, feeling changes. So India should, yeah,
I take
India,
your
it
point.
is not difficult to
So,
engage with Turkey. India should send
others, Neha.
yeah, improve their diplomatic ties because India and Turkey relation has been doing well prior to this incident, and I don't know how why Turkey or the sudden turned against India.
ओके, नेहा, नेहा wants to add, नेहा कुछ बोलोगे? टर्की इंडिया रिलेशन फ्यूचर कोर्स क्या होना चाहिए? Okay, Raja, if you would like to add something, add and then close today's session, right?
Don't have much to say on this. Okay, I think so. I think we have discussed enough. I'm audible, Apurva? And all.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
So we have discussed we can say ex- different dynamics of the topics today. That the security dilemma, the future trajectory of Indian-Pakistan conflict. Despite having a number of the, or we can say a network issue that we having in this session today, but despite of that, I just like to apologize. Just have to say that apologies to the listeners, and also that due to the network issue, they might have faced some problems to listeners. And also, other than this, I just try to apologize and thank to the Aman and the Neha. As in the earlier period, I just use the term guest, but rather than that, they are our friends or maybe juniors who will be part of this lecture series in the coming we can say coming days, where we'll able to listen their views. So thank you, Neha and Aman, to give their valuable time and their views, and hope they will join later on more in number of the series. And with this, I'll just thank you, and we'll meet next series. So, seems.
Thank you, Amon,
Thank you.
Neha, Raja. Thank
Thank
you.
you for welcoming me. Thank you. Thank you.